It is assessment day. We have got to the 5th week of swimming, and as I mentioned last week, we now have to do an assessment, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I've been really comfortable the last 2 or 3 weeks, like really comfortable, getting to grips with everything, realising that a lot of the fears that I had were really in my head, and now I realise I'm getting to a point where I'm actually going to get tested on if my theory is right. And that's a big thing, because I've just literally had a conversation with a client about fear of failure or fear of success. And it's only in times where you get tested where you sort of recognise if you're scared of what you could become. And I guess that's a little bit like exams in school. You study, and then when it comes to taking the exam, sometimes it gets the better of people, and sometimes they don't take that exam because they're too afraid to fail. In some situations, what happens is you are so afraid of what might be, or you're so afraid of what you might become, it gets too daunting, so you don't do it and you just stay where you are because you're comfortable. And I spoke about this last week. I'm comfortable now. If I no longer had swimming lessons, if I never had to have swimming lessons ever again, I would probably be okay in shallow water. So I'm learning to swim in a training pool, and it only comes up to probably about here. But in terms of going under the water and putting my head under the water and being more comfortable under the water, I am now. I don't think I will ever worry about being in the water again. That for sure that fear has been conquered, well and truly conquered. But now it's about, am I prepared to go to the next step? Am I prepared to progress to the next level? Am I prepared to be tested on what it is I think I know? Now, obviously, Margaret is my swimming instructor, and she isn't obviously gonna test me if she doesn't think I'm ready. You know, the same way in school, your teachers assess you and they will put you forward for the exam that they think you'll be capable of passing or testing yourself with. So I know for a fact that as a beginner, she wouldn't be putting me through this assessment if she didn't think I was ready for it, because it's not in her best interest to do that. And I wouldn't pass because I wouldn't be ready. So again, this is the importance of having a coach. This is the importance of having help. This is the importance of having instruction, is the fact that if you have somebody who is helping you and assessing you from a professional standpoint, they have no invested interest in whether you do or don't do it, you get honest feedback. You know, from a coaching perspective, honest feedback is the only way you make progress, because if somebody's lying to you and telling you that you're further along than what you really are, chances are you're not going to make the long-term progress that you want because you think you're further on than you are. From that perspective, I feel okay, because I know she wouldn't have asked me to do it if she didn't think I was capable. Now it's about the mind games. Now it's about my brain trying to convince me I'm not going to be able to do it. And as I was referring to earlier on, I was speaking to a client about this very same thing. She's been with me for 9 months, and we've had to spend a lot of the time relearning and forgetting some of the bad habits and the bad things that she's picked up along the way over the years, and basically teaching her how to look after herself and understand her body better. And what happened today was she tried on a dress, it didn't fit, and she felt like shit, which is easily done when you're trying to improve the way you look and change the way your body functions. But that in itself is almost like a test, because a lot of people will start this process of body transformation, and because they're part way through it, feel like they are ready to move on to the next step. And again, this is the importance of having a coach, because it's my job to make sure that my clients get there when they're ready. And maybe she was a little bit hasty. Got a wedding next year in April, and she bought a dress and tried the dress on, and the dress didn't fit, and it made her feel like shit. Now, if she had have said to me, I'm going to buy a dress, Grant, do you think it's a good idea? I probably would have said to her, just wait till next year. Wait till we're a little bit closer to the wedding, then try it on, because there would have been less disappointment, because I know where she's in her process. Anyway, cut a long story short, I asked her if she was scared of change. Sometimes when it comes to taking the next step in your process, it can be quite scary because you have to learn more. And this is where I am today. Session starts at 6:30. It is 12 minutes past 6. So in 15 minutes, I'll be in the pool about to go through my assessment. And you've got to remember, a lot of our fears of failure or success really come down to the past. For all the past experiences that I've had in swimming pools, there have been periods where I have had to be assessed and failed those assessments because I've been so nervous and so scared and so afraid of doing it. So even though it was 30 odd years ago, the feeling and the thought process of what it is that I'm about to go through today is still the same thing. And this is what I'm trying to explain to a lot of you about time. It doesn't matter how long you leave it. It doesn't matter. It's 30 years down the line and I still feel the same way that I did when I was 7 going into those assessments. It is a test because my brain is trying to convince me not to do this, but it's got to be done. Anyway, I am here now. Wish me luck.
3 days later.
Did I pass my swimming assessment? Absolutely, yes, I did. This part of the vlog is not going to be me walking through the streets on the way back because I was so excited that I passed. I actually forgot to film and only realised when I got home. So let me explain to you what happened. Obviously, as you know, last week my swimming instructor Margaret told me that I was going to be taking an assessment to see if I could move up into the next class. All the test was just going over everything that we've done in the last 4 lessons really, which was checking my breathing, checking my swimming strokes and just making sure that I was more confident in the pool. I am. And so what we went through was a series of exercises, mainly just the swimming strokes. So there was breaststroke, which I did in the first 2 lessons. And we touched on backstroke on the last lesson. And then we mainly done front crawl, which I now understand why I've been struggling all of these years. Learning to do anything new is always going to be difficult if you don't have the right help. I'm not going to bang on too much about this because I have done for the last 15 years. But when it comes to doing something that you are A, scared of, or B, don't know how to do, just get the help, because the last 30 years of my life have been nothing but torture. Deep water and swimming pools and being in that environment and it all being really intimidating and disorientating. Well, when you get yourself a professional swimming instructor like Margaret, she takes all of that away and teaches you how to do everything from the bottom up. And that's pretty much how I've been able to go from being fearful of the water to actually enjoying being in the water. And so this session was mainly just going over all of the strokes that I'd done. We finished on front crawl. I had to do some underwater assessments, which was nothing crazy really, just going under the water and holding your breath for as long as you can, which when you understand how to breathe, it's not too bad. And yeah, got out of the swimming pool, felt really good, really excited, and then as everyone was leaving, she sort of pulled me to one side and said, I think you can come up to the next class with me as of next week. So I will now be doing my swimming lessons in the intermediate swimming class, which is more about teaching you how to improve your technique and how to improve your speed in the pool. Because obviously, like everything, if you're not confident in doing something, and yes, I'm going to bring this back to fitness. If you're not confident in doing something, just like training, for example, or eating, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, confidence is the first thing. And hopefully what you've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks, which is the reason why I'm really documenting this, is so that you can have the opportunity to watch my confidence grow over this last month, from being not very confident at all to now being, I wasn't going to say extremely confident, but I'm much more confident than I was 5 weeks ago. That's mainly down to having the right instruction, having the right teacher, teaching me the process at the right time, teaching me how to do things at the right time, what not to do, how to do it. Because all of these little things that we take for granted, and we really, to be honest, we don't even take them for granted because we don't even know they exist. But all these little things, all these little tricks and tips and don't do this and don't do that, they help. And in that help, it creates more confidence. And so I hope that I've been able to demonstrate that over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So now, as of 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, I'm a little bit later now, half an hour. So I'm now out of the training pool and I'm now into the big pool. So that'll be me now, pass the assessment. And I have to stress, this is quite significant for me, and I know a lot of you are probably thinking it's just swimming, Grant, but for me this is a massive thing, because I've never in my whole life moved out of a beginner swimming class. Whether I was 7 or whether I'm 37, it doesn't really matter. This is the first time in my life I have moved out of a beginner group. Through primary school, through secondary school, I stayed in the bottom classes. Even in secondary school, when I was in the top set, I got moved down to the bottom set and I still couldn't keep up with the bottom set. So for me, this is monumental, and this is a big thing for me because it's, you know, it's something that I set out to do. I committed to it, and I hope that I'm sort of demonstrating and being the example for you of, like I said in the previous episodes, thinking it, saying it, and then doing it. And if you can sort of stay along those guidelines, very basic, very simple, but if you can actually follow those guidelines, you can achieve the thing that you want to achieve. It's a big thing for me because now I don't have the fear of water, and now it's about how good can I get at swimming. I still have haven't been to the pool outside of swimming lessons, but I'm sure that'll come. But yeah, so I'm up into the next class now. I'll be in the big pool, so I'm looking forward to that. Haven't yet been in deep water, which I guess will be the test, but very much looking forward to that. Now, one thing that I am thinking about is ending these vlogs here, because winter's coming, and I'm not sure if being able to vlog in the winter in the dark is really going to be, I don't know, it's just probably not going to be as clear to talk about on camera, because obviously you're not seeing any swimming pool action, so you're only seeing me talk on camera about what I'm doing in the pool, which is good. Obviously, it would be better if you could see me in the pool so I could give you some pool updates. But then if we think about me vlogging this in the dark, I've been there, I've done that. If you go back to the very first YouTube videos that I posted 10, 11 years ago, you'll see that I did a vlog when I first started working in a gym. I was having to work at 5 a.m, so I had to do my cardio at 4 a.m, and as motivation to try and show people, you know, you've got to get it done when you've got to get it done, I was vlogging at 4 a.m, and it was pitch black, and you can literally just about make out my face. So it's like 15 minutes of me talking and you looking at a blank screen, which isn't great for content and isn't great for you, really. So I'm not really too sure what to do about the vlogs moving forward, because obviously the dark nights are coming in, winter's getting closer, and I do plan to do these swimming lessons. This is the goal until I can get to the advanced class, because the long-term goal for me now is to be able to pass my lifesavers, because in school, obviously not being able to swim, not being confident in the water, I could never pass my lifesavers, to the point where I actually almost failed my GCSEs because of it. So the long-term goal for me is to then be able to do my lifesavers. So I'm thinking maybe I will vlog the swimming vlogs up until it gets really dark at night, and then I guess it will just be updates here and there. But obviously the first goal for me, short-term target, jump off a boat into the sea, swim around, not be scared, enjoy life. And then the long-term goal is to be able to pass my life-saving badge. Not like advanced, super advanced. I would just be happy with Lifesavers 1, because that's the one that I always failed, and that's the one that, you know, like I said, almost cost me my GCSEs. Yeah, that's where we're at. I passed my assessment. I'm absolutely buzzing. I've got my sessions now at Tuesday at 7 p.m. And yeah, I'll keep you posted as and when, but I just want to say a massive thank you for all of the encouragement. I don't think you realize how much encouragement and support helps me, because obviously this is something that I am new to. Fitness, training, coaching people, getting people in shape, helping people change their lives. I've been doing that for a very long time, so I don't need the confidence to do that. Pretty much most other areas of my life I'm pretty confident in, and I'm pretty self-assured in, but this was one that I wasn't. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all of those that sent me messages, have watched the vlogs, have given me feedback, have sent me DMs on Instagram saying, you know, keep going, well done. Because I hope, and I guess this will be the words of wisdom, I hope that you can see what you can achieve if you can get over the fear. And yes, the help, you need to invest in it. Don't worry about the money. Save the money, invest the money, do whatever you need to do to get the help, because the speed at which you can close the gap in learning, if you just get the right help, is, I can't explain it to you. It's mind-blowing. If you think about my journey, I've spent the first 7 years of my life trying to learn how to swim and never could, and then spent the next 30 years of my life being scared of swimming, and it's only in these last 5 weeks that I've actually been able to conquer the fear of the water, and that's only because I had help. The point is, fear is just in here, and if you can start building a confidence, you can get over that fear, and if you can get over that fear, you can actually start to build confidence and actually go from being scared of something to actually enjoying something. And I'm hoping that these vlogs are showing you that, because that was the point of it, to show you that you can go from being really scared of something to really enjoying something, and it doesn't take that much time at all, as long as you can think that you can do it, say that you're going to do it, and then commit to doing it. So I will see you in the next vlog. Hopefully it's not too dark by the time I do it. Thank you for all of your support. I will see you in the next one. This, ladies and gents, is exactly why I will not be vlogging in the dark.